in Foxborough. You had the Patriots, you had the Giants. You had teams going in completely opposite directions, and that would continue. What do we think of Jaxson Dart's fit?
He's dressed smartly right there.
Yes, and perhaps he needs to start playing that way. Here we go. First quarter, Jeff, what are we doing here?
Throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Just taking hits all the time. After all of the conversations that took place in his absence, it continues to happen. So now they're forced to punt. And here comes the ensuing punt. And we've got Marcus Jones, and we've got ourselves an opening.
As long as you keep the gunners off the punt return and give him some time to see some space, then he gets into that space. Only man that can get him is the punter, and that ain't going to happen.
Not going to happen.
He might go all the way, and he does. 94 yards, 10-0
Fast.
Patriots.
Yeah.
So this game's coming at you pretty quick. This is the ensuing Giant possession. Avert your eyes if you're squeamish. Jaxson Dart, J-Mac, up the sideline.
Second down, nice decision. Nowhere to go with the ball.
My
Takes
goodness.
off. Just step out of bounds. You got third down to pick up the first. You don't want your quarterback taking these type of hits, especially when he's coming off ahead.
That almost is a pancake.
This will be the most misinterpreted play of the entire NFL season. We'll explain as we continue. Dart was okay, so the Giants are forced to punt on fourth down. We're still in the first quarter here, Graziano.
Yeah, quarter was
busy night. Touchdown pass to Boutte.
Yeah, Drake May just locked in. He's not worried about taking hits on the sidelines. He's completing long touchdown pass.
17.
Plenty of time left here, Greeny.
Pats after one, yes. Plenty of time. And actually, the Giants do work their way back into it. This is Darius Slayton. They're not going to get him. Giants cut it to 17-7. They look, we got ourselves a ball game, Neek.
Yeah.
Now they make a stop. They get the ball back.
One-score game, baby.
What
We hit
could
this
go wrong?
one-score game.
Young Hui Koo. What?
I do what now?
It's impossible to explain what just happened. Jamie Gillen is the holder. He winds up taking a 13-yard loss.
I mean, in Koo's defense, it felt like the hole wasn't completely clean, but every time I've heard coaches coach that, you just swing through no matter what. You kick it, not the ground.
He caught that one a little fat.
It was a good effort out of defense.
Took a lot of turf there, and then it's Drake May, it's Kyle Williams, drops that in the bucket. Patriots just cook it. This wasn't even the game in the second half last night. May 24 of 31, 282 and 2 touchdowns. Mike Vrabel and Drake May and company look ridiculously good. They now have their bye, by the way. So they go into that with the NFL's best record at 11-2. Our analytics give them a 46% chance to be the 1 seed in the East and so 1 seed in the AFC, and they can wrap up the East in their next game, which is in 2 weeks at home against Buffalo. Remember, they beat the Bills on the road. So there's a lot to unpack from that game. Let's start with the New England side of it, which is fairly simple. What do we think of them?
They love some football. They love some football in New England. The boys were laying hat on people. They were fired up to play, and they all got like a little bit of crazy, which is just like their head coach, Vrabel. And I played against them. They play exactly like him. Everybody's going to play to the echo of the whistle. They want to set the tone. Offense, defense, special teams, all 3 phases are well coached. You had to be extremely excited if you're a Patriots fan. Monday night, everybody watching kind of like the show out in them beautiful jerseys, which I hate to say as a Colt, but they look sharp and they played sharp.
Are they the team to beat in the AFC right now, Neek?
I think so, yeah. Like, I mean, they are beating. You can always make the criticism of the teams that they played that they aren't all that good.
Right.
But then you look around the AFC, and there aren't any teams that are like juggernaut dominant that they should be afraid of. And they're not squeaking by these games.
No.
Like, we've seen good teams struggle and lose to some bad teams. The Patriots aren't doing that. They're pounding these teams that they're much better than.
Am I remembering right? You were at the game in Buffalo, right? Did you have that game?
No,
Okay.
No, they don't send me to Buffalo till December.
That's right. You're going
I'll be there
this week for Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But that said, the Patriots did beat them, right? And that was before we started questioning the Bills. And the Bills are still going to be heard from before it's all said and done. But in that game on the road, and there were obviously a lot of consequence to winning that game, the team that's owned the division, the Patriots are for real.
They show up prepared to play. Like they were obviously ready for the Buffalo game, which is a different level of ready for a home game against the 2-10 Giants. But no matter what, like that, you're going to get their best game, and that's a reflection of the head coach, of Mike Vrabel. That's what he has installed there. I mean, Patriots 11-2, Giants 2-11, and it didn't feel that close.
Right.
Like there were parts of the game where it didn't feel like those 2 teams were playing the same sport. That's what the Patriots have to do against this schedule. It'll only build confidence. They'll get to the playoffs feeling like, hey, somebody's got to come in our building and beat us. That's going to be tough for them. Yeah, there's nothing not to like right now. They have the quarterback, they have the coach, they have the best record. The playing great.
And how crazy was it to watch that game last night? The Giants picked third in the draft. The Patriots picked fourth in the draft this past year. And we're watching how fast they've gotten better. And you mentioned Vrabel's name. A lot of it has to do, yes, they've spent the most money in free agency in NFL history. And then the belief that he has surrounded this team with, that when they go into a game, no matter who they're playing, whether it's a weaker opponent or a game on the road against Buffalo, they truly believe the things they've executed throughout the course of the week, they're going to come out victorious in that game.
Boy, is that an excellent point, by the way, that they picked third and fourth. And look, and by the way, the guy they picked fourth didn't even play last night. He's on IR. That's the offensive tackle, Will Campbell. Give me one betting point because I want to get to Dart.
Patriots to win the 1 seed is -110. It's a great price considering what you're seeing the rest of the way out. Still have the Jets, still have the Dolphins. Those should be 2 games you win. You get a bye coming up this week. Denver's your only real threat from my perspective, and look at what you're facing. You've got the Raiders, but then it's a Packers team, Jaguars team, Chiefs team, and Chargers team, all of which could be or are playoff teams.
Yeah.
One note to the point on the Patriots and whether or not they make a run through the AFC. Doesn't matter how those two have looked this year. That shuts everyone up, and that builds the confidence to win the AFC. Stumble, and all of a sudden we have big questions heading into the postseason.
So the New England side is fairly simple coming out of last night. The Giants side, not nearly so simple. A, they're terrible, but we knew that. B, the quarterback, we wondered if he would spend 2 weeks sort of getting the message. He most certainly did not, based upon his play and then based upon these comments after the game.
This is football. Like, I'm going to get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket. Like, I feel like I've played this way my whole entire life. This shouldn't be like any shocker to anybody if you've followed along with my career. We're not playing soccer out here. Like, you're going to get hit. Things happen. It's part of the game. I appreciate people, wanting to, me to be healthy and all that stuff. And I want to be healthy too. But I play this game aggressive. So I'm not going to just change how I play the game.
Jeff, go.
It's ridiculous. And this is not because I don't think he's a tough guy or he wants to play football. Here's the thing. You played in college where you may have played 2 good defenses in an entire season. That's just the reality of the difference in college. The difference between college and pros is the defensive side of football. And when those defensive linemen that are 330 can run a 4.6 and they're running down here and they're hitting you on the sideline, you're not going to keep getting up, bro. I don't care how tough you are. Like, your body can only take so much physical damage. And you are the franchise. They are literally building an entire organization around you being available. And they expect you to be able to play week in and week out. You can't play football banged up, hurt neck, hurt shoulder, hurt whatever. Even if you can fight through concussion, whatever it is, what you're doing is bad for your football team. And it's not if it's the playoffs, we're at the AFC Championship game and it's a must-have, I totally get it. It's 2nd and 13, bro. You're 2 and whatever. No one's going anywhere. Continue to get better. Work the rest of your stuff. But don't go out with this attitude of I have to play a certain style because it doesn't pay benefits in the NFL.
And again, this is why I say this is going to be the most misinterpreted play of the year, because at first blush, you're thinking, wow, that's the dirtiest hit I've ever seen in my entire life. And then you realize Jaxson Dart stays in bounds every step of it. The flag that is thrown after this play is on the offense. It's on 84 of the Giants for retaliating against what is a perfectly legal hit. And so that is 100% on the quarterback.
Yeah, and it's just little decisions, right? It's 2nd and 13. He got hit after, 11 or 12.
Right.
Step out at 10. You got 3rd and 3, and you can make that. And no one on your team is going to say, oh, our quarterback is soft because he didn't stay in bounds and take that hit. That's not going to happen.
The funny thing, the linebacker on the play, Christian Ellis, said as he's running over there, he says to himself, oh, he's going to step out of bounds.
Right.
And then he goes, oh, damn, he's tiptoeing down the sideline.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So he is he is asking me to come take the shot on him. He don't want to play if he's going to tiptoe down the sideline with a linebacker in the NFL running at him.
You just going to play in my face like that? That is so like as a linebacker. But I think it reminds me a little bit of like having kids where the decisions that you make as a young man, they change when someone else is dependent on you. And that's what I think about Jaxson Dart. It's like, you could be wild college guy, but you got kids now. You cannot go out there and mess around the way that you are. So many people are relying on them.
That's right.
Their contracts, their livelihoods, where they're going to live, whether they're going to eat steak or tuna out the can is dependent on whether Jaxson Dart can stay healthy. So, like, I get it. I understand the sentiment of I'm tough. I'm not scared. I play this way. We respect that.
Yeah.
But we got to be smart also.
Is it overstating it for me to say that Mike Kafka, who we think is getting a look right now to be their head coach, the fact that he was not able to get through to him in these 2 weeks, the fact that he was not, that Jaxson Dart clearly did not get the message that he can't do that, actually it's bad for some coach has what I'm trying to say is whoever the next coach of that team is going to have to sit down with Jaxson Dart, show him all the comments he just made in that press conference and say, here's a list of 10 reasons why everything you said is the opposite of right.
I can tell you this. Tom Moore, who was our offensive coordinator in Indy, he coached for Bradshaw in the Steelers. He coached Tom Brady in Tampa Bay when they won the Super Bowl. He used to look at the quarterback. There is a clock in your head. And when the play is dead, get rid of the ball because we're dead without you. And he says it in a very colorful way. Go back and look it up about how you play without Peyton Manning. And that's the reality for the Giants and Jaxson Dart. He is their best option, but you got to be available, and you got to be healthy. Not just available, you have to be healthy enough to perform at your best.
And Neek said this in our meeting this morning. That game last night, you had Drake May, who last year people were talking about him taking unnecessary hits and having to play smarter. And now we're watching him this year being more available for his football team, not leaving with injury. And now we've seen their ascension.
It's a very common issue with young quarterbacks. You hear it from coaches all the time. This is Jaxson Dart's, 7th, 8th game? I mean, he can and likely will learn this. What you don't want is for him to learn it the hard way and have to miss time along the way.
And right now we got Jaden Daniels. So we think about Drake and Jaden Daniels last year were both quarterbacks that were like, you got to protect yourself going forward. We've seen that one's been able to do it and the other one hasn't.
Is it possible, Greeny, that we're all, let me fix my pockets. We're all tough guys here. Is it possible we've been wearing suits too long and we've softened up a little too much?
No,
shame.
Someone has to defend.
I just love that you said we're all
tough guys here, all right? We're all physical.
Yeah.
Like, all kidding aside, I actually
Most of you wear the same size coat.
His comments afterwards, actually, I think, are the worst part of it. Because what I was expecting him to say is, yeah, man, I really need to get out of bounds there. You know, I got caught up in the moment, but I know I need to do that. I know what. He's not saying that.
Right.
So, if that message is being delivered to him, it is not seeping in.
It wasn't even
like,
it wasn't a blindside hit.
No.
Like he saw him coming and he was like, no, I'm going to choose to take this next step inbounds and choose to get helicopter like John Elway in the Super Bowl when you're not in the playoffs.
Right.
Teaching tape. If you're going to try and show a young quarterback why he needs to get out of bounds, you will show that play. It is absolutely exactly what they want to coach out.
This is the tape you watch like Friday before you go play your high school game. You watch that, and you go, oh yeah, I'm about to buckle up too, boys. I'm getting one of them.
And I will say, speaking of Brian Dable this season, we asked him about Jaxson Dart when he was still the head coach, and he said for quarterbacks, you won't learn until you wake up the day after the game and your body remembers what that hit was like the night before. You would assume for Jaxson Dart, after what he's been through this season, that moment has already happened?
2 weeks ago.